ladies and gentlemen, you can't help. It's how do I don't even know where to begin at. This conversation, I dedicate this video to my baby mama. And I guess what I will call this video is I love you always, young lady. You know, I ain't never met a person that I tried to help so much in life. I never like legitly loved a person the way I loved my baby mama. I never have, and I'm more than likely never will. I love this young lady as if she was my sister. What's up, Cheyenne? I'm on some serious timing. That's why the lighting is what it is. I ain't trying to get up, cut on the light. The message is more prevalent. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta excuse me. I'm an old school guy, so I don't be like trying to like um you go through different lives, you'll see people with backdrops and setups and they in costumes and shit. I'm just authentic. I get on this bitch and just go to speaking. So pardon me if you this might not be your flavor this particular stream. Yeah, I'm laying down right now. I was just laying down because my baby mama just did something very disappointing, and I've been trying to help her. Not only have I tried to help her, my mom has tried to help her. I invited her in my family. We started a miniature family, and I had her recently. All the things I had to do by myself. I was so proud of myself. Like people might listen to me talk and they said that nigga do bragging, but it just be me positive reinforcing myself. So when I bought my crib, like I have to explain that to my mom sometimes. I explained that I did something that couples don't get to do. Now, obviously, you got rich folks in this world. I ain't rich, but you got rich motherfuckers who get blessed with opportunities of a lifetime. You feel me? But I'm talking about I was able to do, I think about how I was saving and saving the beginning of my journey. And my baby mama, all she kept saying was I was a dreamer. Matter of fact, her and the girl before that was telling me I was a dreamer, and I was talking about I'm gonna buy me a house. I had the vision, like it was a long term fucking goal. It wasn't no fucking saving overnight, save a check. It was a lot of fucking things I missed out on. You feel me? All of my friends around me was going on cruises. All of them was buying new fucking cars, getting these fucking however 5, 6 years it take to pay off a car, whatever the case may be. All of them was fucking going to the barbershop, getting haircuts. I was cutting my own hand shit. All the things the nigga did to fucking save to get to where I was at. And I did it. And she wasn't here to enjoy it. And when she fell on hard times, I invited her up to my house. This is just because she off the strength of we having a child together. And I couldn't bear the thought. I always used to, reason I watch the news, I don't never say this, I'm just sharing my personal thoughts. Cause I be so fucking scared at night. Like I don't never want to see that girl on the fucking news. And I know she gonna break my heart like that one fucking day. And I just can't stand for that fucking day to ever fucking come. But I know it's gonna be a matter of one day seeing her on the motherfucking news. And I've tried to help this woman so bad, dog. I've never, dog, I literally lost myself literally with this woman. This is when we was dating. When we was dating, I lost myself. I became a shell of who I was and all the swag and all the aura that I had carried into just who I was as a man. I always had my own shit, always dressed nice, always had cars, whatever. But I let her, me trying to pick her up, because she was such a nice person. She still is a nice person, but she just gullible as fuck. And it made me think of the biggest thing I think of is a movie called For Colored Women, and I think about Loretta Devine got a poem called "I Almost Let a Man Walk Away with All My Stuff." That's the most deepest poem I ever fucking heard, because I let this woman walk away with all my shit, my whole being of a man. And then I gathered myself. It took me years to get myself back together. And all the while, I still had to get up with a fake smile and go to work. Still had to get up with a fake smile and raise my child. And while she was out there just fucking having fun in the world and shit. And so when she recently fell on hard times, I invited her to my house. She came and I let her know because she tried to make a couple moves on me. I said, baby girl, I've been told you then and I'm standing on that. We never gonna have sex again. I am your friend. I'm your best friend. I don't know if you my best friend. I'm your best friend. That's why you here. Because I want to see you do great in this world, cuz. So I brought her out to my shit and I explained because she was able to look at I got a family room. I call it the family room where I got pictures of me, her, and my daughter all as a family. Like if a person was to look through my timelines of my life online, you would be like, God damn, these motherfuckers was a real family. We went every fucking way, did everything together. It was all about the family shit that I used to do as a single man. I was able to take when I met her before my child, I was able to take her with me. And then once we had my child, it was all us. Everywhere it was all about them. And now it's just all about my daughter. She got to see my daughter room and shit. How I got my daughter room hooked up. This, that, and the third. So I saw that to say, I told her, I says, well, I ain't trying to kick you while you down. I'm just showing you that this is what life is. And but you do get to see what you missed out on. But the good news is you still have life. So while you still have life, you feel me? Just go ahead and get yourself together. You know, I don't mind you. When I re-met her, I mean by re-met is once I went and invited her to my crew, a nigga done tricked her into all type of shit. But all I can simply say is she hadn't been through so much, dog. Like car accidents, almost died, surgeries, fucking. She'd be the first one to say she got raped in the streets. All type of just horrible fucking things happened to this fucking girl, and ID expired, no bank account, can't get no access to no kind of money, just all type of, and I went ahead and start helping her to get this shit on track. My mom went to helping her to get this shit on track. I'm arguing with my brothers because they like, why the fuck is this girl staying in my mama house? Nigga, this, that. And I'm explaining to you, nigga, tend to your own fucking marriage. Nigga, don't worry about me trying to help my mama's a grown woman. She could do what the fuck she want to. So all these fucking folks and factors are trying to help. She don't got a mama. Her mama been dead. Fucking, she never met her daddy. You feel me? So like, I've been her family. I used to tell her that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you know what's crazy is, bro, I'm not no sucker nigga, not for nothing. And I just asked her, are you trying to kill yourself? Like, are you on some people don't have to be on drugs. Some people literally got issues where they trying to kill themselves without even knowing it because they constantly go to the sharks. You can't be this for any young woman or man that need to hear this shit. If you got a genuine heart, stop trying to be around the tough motherfucker. I hate to bring up one of my idols, Tupac, but the more as I get older, I almost want to call this shit Tupac syndrome. Because when I looked at the movie and I looked at that famous photo of Tupac in the goddamn passenger seat, he looked like he's scared as fuck. He's such a brave soul, such a great soul, but it looked like Suge Knight was the bully he just couldn't resist. It's like something about people where it's like Stockholm syndrome, where it's like you hang around a motherfucker that's no good. For even it was disappointing to hear Suge Knight say, if I knew his killer, I still wouldn't tell it. And so you look at his face like a deer in headlights, and I think my baby mama do that same fucking face that Tupac did when they took that photo of him, and he just looked like a nervous wreck. When all he had to do is say, nah, my spirit ain't feeling right, nah, I ain't getting in the car tonight. I'm good. That's not motherfucking baby mama. She wants to hang around the motherfuckers who the cool people, and then they use her fucking up. She do end up broke as fuck, broke and disgusting, sleeping on fucking park benches, dog. I just don't it don't look good for even myself or my child, dog. And I've did my heart, I pulled my heart out, I did everything I could to try to clean. Even just as of recently, I was trying to get her Section 8. Matter of fact, speaking of Section 8, one time I got her Section 8 and they gave her the voucher. Now, before they gave her the voucher, I'm in the process of getting her the Section 8, getting it all approved and all this shit. This stupid nigga, because this is what she does, try to double cross me ran off to this nigga she met, fucked around and tried to do the rest of the application process herself because I did all the application and the questions and shit. So she fucking chose the smallest city in fucking Florida, the smallest county rather. After choosing the smallest county, they ain't have no availability. And you know, people who don't know about Section 8, if you don't use the voucher while the shit good, you got like 30 days to find you a place to live. Otherwise, it's a route. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so Section 8 is, you asked what Section 8. It's a it's housing. It's like public housing. It's basically you get your rent at a reduced rate. You know what I'm saying? It's the design, the actual design of it is supposed to help women with kids, disabled women, not just women. Well, I say mainly women. It's some men that can get it, but it's hard to get it as a man. It's like only time I seen a man get it is a man who was in the military, ex-military can get it. You feel me? So like if you was in the military or some shit like that, disabled veteran, you can get Section 8. But it's basically a low income program. When you got low income, they'll pay a percentage of your rent. You feel me? Yeah, like council housing. Oh, you must live in where you live at, Cheyenne? You live in England or something? What country you living in? Are you from? Or you stay at? Cause council housing, I never heard of that, but that sound like an English term. But yeah, it's I imagine it's the same thing when you say how Ireland, exactly, exactly. Okay, yeah, Ireland, yeah. It's exactly that. It's that same form, council housing. And so they give you a voucher and you're supposed to use that voucher within X amount of days, you feel me? And so I don't think I ever got to tell you too, Cheyenne. I'm a Griffin. My last name Griffin. Shout out to Ireland. Anyway, though, so fucking yeah, so I get her this thing. She run off thinking she got all the sense. That's usually what she do after some people. Mind you, she's done her own family like this. Her granddad, God bless the dead, her auntie. Everybody's tried to help her. She done burnt all her bridges. So I was the last remaining factor, like I told her. Only reason I'm still in your life is because we share a child. I would have been dismissed and whatever done happened with you in life would have been what your destiny was. But by the fact that we share a child, that is tied into my legacy. You know what I'm saying? But I living in the state, but one of my uncles live in council housing. Same with my aunt. Hey, that sounds so dope the way you worded. Like you was like, I living in the state. I'm gonna start calling my shit in the state. Technically it is. It's so funny cause I'm from a neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and it's called Parkway. But the official name of it is Broward Estates. You feel me? So that's dope as shit though. Estate. I like that. And but that's what we call certain residencies over here too, is estates or whatever. And so like I got an estate, front yard, backyard, all that. So um the Khyber. Do y'all call apartments flats like they do in England? Or y'all just call, I know y'all probably don't call them apartments though. Y'all call them flats. But yeah, so all in all though, you know what I'm saying? This morning I found my old girl called me. Old girl mean mom. That's a slang term for mom. My old girl called me and tell me this girl done been like the cow bed, the Hill Estate in Banneker. The cow. Okay, that's tight. Matter of fact, now I'm gonna look that up when I get off the phone. Let me take a screenshot of that. The cow bed, the Hill Estate. Okay, that's tight work. So then end up what I was gonna say is wild. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. That sounds dope as hell. You like it? You like it? Like the Hill Estates. What kind of animals y'all got out there? Like deers and shit. Like is it rural? Like for me, I live in rural Georgia, so like in my backyard, I have silver foxes. I know they call them gray foxes. And it's so funny. The first time I seen a fox was a couple weeks ago. I was working in the driveway, right? And I'm working on my driveway, and fucking, I'm looking in the back, my neighbor backyard. I say, what the fuck? I ain't know she had a dog. My city, I'm a city slicker. I'm like, she got a little Jack Russell or some shit. Why he ain't barking? And that bitch looked at me and I'm looking a little bit closer. I said, that's a goddamn false. I said, that's a false. And he just looking at me and I'm looking at him and shit. And I'm like, man, I done seen it all out here. I done seen cottonmouth snakes. I done seen things that I thought I was only gonna see on TV. Cottonmouth snakes, deers, all kind of deers, baby deers, big deers, little deers, does, whatever you want to call them. Fucking the fox, all every kind of bird. Georgia got every single kind of bird you can imagine. Hawks, owls, they call them horned owls. Red robins, little finches, shit, tomcats, regular cats, um, just every damn animal like that. I thought that I would. Only thing I'm glad knock on wood. What the fuck is some wood at? They got black bears somewhere, but I think that's in North Georgia. I don't wish to see no goddamn black bear. If I see a black bear, he gonna die right on sight. Ain't no motherfucking sparing him. Deers, they could jump the fence, but the black bear, oh bitch. So yeah, that's pretty much that though. So the point I'm making just to finish up, cause I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little bit on my soapbox. That's why I'm gonna finish up soaking real quick. That state is into the Banneker County. Have you ever been to America? Like you ever visited America before? The state is to the yeah, that's tight work though. Like I said, Eddie Griffin, right? That's one of my favorite comedians and shit. And he's a Griffin. Oh, that's tight. That's tight. He did a movie in Ireland. I don't know if you ever heard of it. I can't even think of the name of it. But he did a movie in Ireland, Eddie Griffin. And in Georgia, Irish settlements was throughout Georgia. So I never realized how much of an Irish influence Georgia has. They got a town in Georgia called Dublin. You feel me? It's Dublin, Georgia. It's in Lawrence County. And the whole theme of the town is on some Irish shit. Like they got even a high school called Dublin High School, and they wear green, Celtic green, and all that shit. So it's like a real. I would almost even say Georgia is more Irish influence as far as settlements, almost more than even Boston. Now, obviously, Boston is as Irish as it get. Massachusetts and shit. My uncle Zod was in a film called Cal. I gotta take a picture of that too. I'm gonna look up all this shit. I'm curious like that. Cowboys and let me see. Did I say Cowboys and yeah, Cowboys and Angels. Yeah, I'm gonna look up all that. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I don't my Irish knowledge. It don't really go that deep. Other than like I said, I watched the movie with Eddie Griffin before, and I might have seen something else where it was an Irish movie where the guy was getting out of prison and he came back to get revenge on everybody. He went to a bar and it was about 13 bitches in the bar and he talking to them. He letting them know how he gonna kill their ass. So they laughing and shit. But he had to picked up that special kind of knowledge. I forgot the name of that movie. That movie was so hard. And he went to it was like the rawest fight scene slash whatever scene, and he in the bar taking them on. Them like the two Irish things I remember movies and shit. And I never only city I ever was aware of was Dublin. That's the thing they talk about the most. But as far as that, I always knew that because I got a straight up white boy name. You should drop by off land. Oh yeah, officially one. Listen, I'm a start all the things I cheated myself on, I'm gonna start doing. You feel me? Like it's about I guess this kind of make this conversation come full circle, this stream. Because I've done so much to try to help my child's mother over the past couple of years and help others in life instead of looking out for myself. And I tried to take up this American stance that I'm so American that I never want to leave the country. I just want to visit other states. All the opportunities I done had to visit places, and I just was stuck in this damn country, loving on this country, not realizing that I'm late to the party. Fucking the most so-called patriotic American goes over fucking seas all the damn time. All these damn politicians and shit, these bitches stay out the country. They got houses out the damn country. They don't give a fuck. That American patriotism, I love our country and shit, is all for show. These bitches don't give a fuck. So it's time for me to start spreading my wings and seeing other places and spending my American money when I make it in other countries and shit. Fuck all that keeping it in the country shit. So you right. I do need to I will probably in the next, not this year, but next year, start spreading my wings and get me a passport. I've never fucking, that's a shame. I would been turned 40 years old before I get a passport. Ain't that some shit? I've gave my dedication to this country. Fuck this shit. I'm gonna start spreading my wings and shit and seeing what the world has in store as far as just visiting other places and shit. I got a few that I'm starting to scout and consider and whatnot. You feel me? So yeah, but Ireland would definitely be dope. I think Ireland would be dope. You feel me? Ireland, London, just for the historical fact. Um, let's see, just see like buildings and shit, the architect and whatnot. When I think of Ireland too, I also think about like farmlands and shit. Like I would imagine Ireland is similar to Georgia, like the state of Georgia, which is a lot of rural but cool. Like rural life. You get that. Like for instance, two places in Georgia I want to try. Still haven't tried. They got something called Lee Dickey Farms. That was like the first commercial I seen, and it's a pecan farm, but they got all type of shit. Where I was born and raised in Limerick, which is a shitty county. Then I moved to Banneker. I've been to other places in my life. Like name some of the places. Like, see, I just been, but the United States is so big, so I haven't been out the country, but I've been all over this motherfucker. Nebraska to just some of the places that black people don't go. And so I feel good about that. I've been to the shit that black people went. And then it's like common shit that I have never went to. Like I went to a lot of parts of Illinois and I never even been to Chicago, which is crazy as fuck. Because I remember my first Illinois experience, I was like, why the fuck is there so many deers? That's another thing. Deers. You think of Chicago, you think of big city, you know what I'm saying? A lot of buildings and shit. Outside of that shit, it's very rural. Just like New York, Mount Vernon and shit. That shit get very rural very fast. People think of NYC as New York and they don't think about cows and farms and shit. It's a farm in every damn state. And so it's like, getting to see those things. I like Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's probably my favorite design city because you can literally look at the whole city from a certain point, and the city like sits like in a big slump, like a hole or something. And seeing, I remember first time driving through Tennessee when I started seeing these what do you call it? They call them runaway bridges for the trucks that get too much speed and shit like that. I remember my first time going to Indianapolis, Indiana. Fucking I had drove there too. All these places I went, I drove. So it was road trips. I love, but I'm getting too old for that shit now. But back in the days, we used to just do road trips. And St. Louis was my favorite city back in the days for how clean it was because St. Louis was the cleanest city I had ever seen. I enjoyed myself. Whole little downtown area. This one, the Rounds used to be the St. Louis Rounds, and it was just like a hell of a experience. Let me say, you say Wales, okay, Wales, England, Arizona, New York, Disney World, Legoland on the outskirts of Ohio. I heard they got some shit like that because I was gonna take my daughter to fuck, my wrist is kicking my ass. I think they got why the fuck my wrist hurt like this? I think they got a Legoland in Orlando too. Shit, but I wanted to take my baby to some shit like Legoland. But yeah, okay, they got one outside Ohio. So you done traveled then. Okay, you done been to the States and all that shit, yo. That's why I say like the cool part, my last time I traveled was I went to Utah. And like I said, I like to drive a lot of places. Like it had been years since I've been on a plane. So fucking when I was on the plane, they done upgraded planes like a mall, like the technology, like it was showing me on my seat or where the person headrest in front of me. It got like these little TV panels and shit, and it show you like the flight where you can actually see the what you traveling over. It give you like little historical facts. It tell you how fast the plane going and shit, the jet or whatever. And I remember it saying this shit was averaging around like 467 miles an hour. And I was like, God damn, we moving faster than the bitch. And it made me say to myself, man, I need to stop bullshitting and jump on me like some jets and shit and really get to traveling. Like, this is why celebs get to see the world, because you moving 467 miles an hour, the world start to become like a elite pad. You feel me? Travelers are like nomads, scumbags and travelers. Yeah, you know the thing is, right, and I'm glad you said that. It's just the thing is, I don't want to get too far out of my realm. Like listen. I don't know if you seen that movie that I was referencing with Eddie Griffin. I can't. I ain't gonna start the chat to go look it right now. I'll tell you next time I come on. But I would imagine my experience would be the same thing, which is he went to Ireland. He made the movie as a joke, right? So for instance, my last name Griffin. You know, so Griffin is, I would imagine, a very popular Irish last name, like Smith and Williams and shit like that, right? So the obviously the biggest investors in the slave trade in America was Irish, or stakeholders. 'Cause obviously Britain practiced slavery and all of that. So a lot of Americans, black Americans, have Irish last names. The most prominent Irish last names, in fact, or as far as black last names, would be Williams and Smith. Those to me are the most, and maybe Jackson. I don't know. I think Jackson might be English or something, but Williams and Smith. So when Eddie Griffin made his movie, he was acting as if he was going back to find his roots. And so he went to Ireland. And these people were so welcoming to him. Like, he was countryside Ireland too. He wasn't in no big city. He was in like full of white folks, only black folk. And they just were so, now obviously it was a movie, but I would imagine a lot of that shit was legit, where it was like real deal love. And you have to be these places I remember me moving to Georgia. Not even just Georgia, Utah. I can't really say fully for Utah because I ain't do that much touring and shit. But I could just say that it was a unique feeling because it was a clean, very clean city and shit. I remember that weird black people. And I felt like vulnerable that, okay, well, so I'm gonna give you a funny little thing, right? On getting on the plane, it was this one black guy loading on the plane with me, and we gave each other this look. We was only two black folks on the plane. And I started looking at other people as black. I was looking at the Indian guys being black. I ain't never looked at the Indian as being black. I was looking at him like, nigga, you blacker than me, nigga. So, but the point is, we looked at each other, we gave each other this look. Once I got there, I seen like there was a lot of Africans or whatever that work in the Utah airport, all that shit. And so I said all that to say, once I was at the hotel and chilling and all this shit, I was like, man, you know what? This is not bad. Like rural parts of Ireland, like Patum. Hold on, let me see. No shit, we literally lost 6 counties. Hold on. Travelers are like nomads, if you're wondering. Oh no, listen. Um, let me see. No shit, we literally lost 6 counties. Yeah, like rural and like Portuma. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, now don't get me wrong. I done seen Ireland on documentaries when it come to sheep farming and stuff like that, or lamb farming for the wool and stuff. I like watching stuff like that and cleaning off and shaving them, and then taking them to like a little similar to like a cotton gin, and yeah, that type shit. So I done seen that aspect of Ireland. Looked at a couple one with famous Irish chocolate factories and shit like that. So you know, I know that part. I did my due diligence and know that, and so I say it though to say I would visit there and it would be I imagine a wholesome experience because part of the reason I moved to Georgia was the original plan was I was gonna move to Griffin, Georgia. I just thought that name was so powerful. I was like Griffin, Georgia, bitch, that sounds amazing. And I never made it up that far. I made it close, but didn't get there because I found somewhere else and I fell in love with it. And so but like I said though, I'm still getting used to rural life because I gotta redo all my windows and shit because insects get through all kind of fucking cracks. And I've got accustomed in a country rural to insects you couldn't get me to been around like spider. Like I got all type of the most scariest fucking spiders be getting in the house. These bitches look like little tarantulas and brown lacoon spiders. And it made me realize spiders for the most part harmless. The motherfuckers try to avoid you. If they bite you, it's because they just cross your path. Don't get me wrong, every time I see one, I kill them. But fucking it still let me know, okay, I could go to sleep without staying up all night because I used to sleep with the lights on and shit. The ants is big as hell. Just the whole nine, that rural aspect. But it's a beautiful thing though because it's peaceful. Like, you know, at nighttime, only thing I hear is cicadas, you know, those little funny ass bugs. But it ain't all that city slicker horns, police sirens. That's the shit I used to hear every night, helicopters and shit. And so it's like now you don't hear none of that. So it's cool. There's a Netflix show about Ireland. Well, you should move to Ireland. Here there is no shooting or racist shit. That's dope as fuck. But my life here is in this. I know. Let me not. I just said this earlier. Let me not limit myself in life. But one thing I do know is when you move somewhere, anywhere in the world, you have to evaluate the economy as well because the one hard part about rural life is if you're not getting it off the land, which I need to learn that and I'm practicing that, but I'm trying to get better at it, which is I'm gonna start me a little garden in the back. That's why I've been tilling my ass off and getting it set up and suiting for that, or I can grow vegetables and different type of things where I can live and maybe solar energy. I used to hear sirens and shit in Limerick. But yeah, I say all that to say though is you gotta know how to be able to be self sufficient. I learned like a lot of black people don't try to move back to Africa and they get there like, oh shit, where the money at? Where the jobs at? So I gotta be self sustaining to where because I gotta take in account that the job market might not be the same here as in America, you know. And I would be the type. Only way I would move to Ireland is if one day I got me a family. My daughter is my family, but I'm talking about if went down the path of love again and shit, fall in love, and that type of energy, and then I can see that because I'm an independent person. Like I've went a lot of places by myself, and I was just content. But I would have to that would be a family decision where my daughter is in compliance. Actually, it'll be after she an adult. That's what it would be unfair to her after she's an adult and she's able to give me her blessings and say, "Yeah, Dad," you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and so that would be some shit like that. And even still, you know, it's about the vibe and the aura. Cause I always said, when you live in a town, I learned this the first time I ever moved to a rural town. I was like, you gotta really be in love. You don't want to be or have family. Like if you got family, then you good because that's all you need to be happy in this world, really though. But if you ain't got no family, you gotta have a spouse because it's plenty nights up here in Georgia where just owning a home ain't enough. I need that companionship, that passion. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. Like that's why I be spending so much time getting on these streams because I ain't no random person no more. Like I don't live that young life where I want to go to the bar and just pick up a random female and bring her back home with me. And all that. That's not for me. So It's like you want that legit person where you can go to sleep up under and wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? Like imagine that shit. Conor McGregor tried to run for president in Ireland. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Conor McGregor isn't a great ambassador of Ireland because you said it's no racist shit, right? And I think you are a legit soul. You know, you be fucking with me every time I come in. You show love, whatever. And like I said, I seen the movie with Eddie Griffin. They showed him a lot of love. But I'll be fool to not go reevaluate what I just told you. Most of the stakeholders, not all, you had Spanish enslavers in America. You had Jewish enslavers in America. You had a couple sects that was call themselves white people that owned slaves in America. But the vast majority was British and Irish. So, and they came from somewhere. They didn't just wake up in America one day. So I'm not gonna fully believe, not calling you a liar, but I'm not gonna fully believe that Ireland has just got all these lovely white people who love some black. They probably don't mind black people because they don't have to see them and deal with them continuously. So it's like can't hate what you don't know, even though white people typically do that in America. But when something is, you don't deem it as a problem, man, you just come in there as a visitor and you kind of spend some money and you ain't kind of stay. Okay, nigga, it's all love. But once they start seeing, they call it white flight. Once white people, they don't mind having a token black guy, a couple black guys. But in my experience, when white people start seeing more than what they're comfortable with in black people, then they start exiting the premises and stuff like that. So, and I would always just tell you this much to consider, because it reminded me, I did see another Irish movie too on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it. It was more like a documentary. It was a black guy living, I don't know if it was Ireland or Scotland or some shit like that, but he was living in one of those places. And he was the type that denied racism because he grew up around just mainly white people his whole life. And was no black people around. So he never knew how to identify what racism looked like because he, they never had nobody to say, man, that was racist. He was, so when his friends made him the butt of his joke, that's the point I'm making. One day he go out to the woods drunk as fuck with a couple friends, and they killed him. They beat him to death. And when the cops go to investigating, some of the friends who didn't have anything to do with it, because they all was friends. Let's just say it was a group of 7 of them. 2 of them took him out to the woods, 2 out of the 7, and they took him to the woods and killed him. The other 5 of his friends, when they doing this documentary, how they was saying, well, we would make little jokes, but it was always harmless. And you hear what they saying, you're like, that's what you call harmless? But he never knew because he never had no nothing to compare it to. So I just simply say that you just gotta always be cautious to know that you might view it from your standpoint to say because you have great love in your heart, but you can't never vouch for the person down the street from you or around the corner who might feel like the desires of their heart might not be so. You know what I'm trying to say. So that's what you gotta be aware of. He didn't meet the criteria. Hold on real quick. You're fucking telling me he had to. Oh no, listen. So yeah. It's because and that's why I meant back to the point with the Conor McGregor. I don't know if he do it just as a act for the white people to eat up in America, but when he was about to fight Floyd Mayweather, and he was like this little monkey jumping around, and he was implying all this shit. Maybe it was just to sell tickets, but he did such a great job. He convinced me. Yeah, like I'm not racist, but I do say the N word with my Indian friend. Listen, I don't think that makes you listen. All right, so watch this. I'm gonna drop some knowledge, right? I say if you ever tune into this shit long enough, right now I'm been talking about my own issues, but nobody says cracker more than me. I say cracker this, cracker that, cracker this, cracker that, cracker, and fucking it's. I have no malicious intent. Now I would say this much: the way I classify racism. And the way I was taught what racism is, it's a system that a person has to put you in, meaning that there's no system of black like a black person can put a white person in and make their life miserable. They could call them everything under the book, but there's no system because black folks aren't the majority in most of the places they live at, except for in Africa. But outside of Africa, a black person go anywhere, they're the minority. So it's usually majority rules, majority favor. So black people don't have a system where you can design it to make things systematically hard for them. So that's what the schism part of racism is. It's a system. So a black person can literally hate white people. I think they should make a term for that, but the term wouldn't never be racist because they have no system to put them in to fuck up their life. Only thing they can say is I hate white people, and this nigga, a white person can literally write legislative law and make it illegal to do this and do that, and then they can carry out their system to systematically target that particular set. So that's what people mean by race. Having said that, I say all that to say it, a white person simply saying nigga doesn't mean it racist to me because I say cracker like a motherfucker. And what I would classify as racist is if I was to meet a white person and they uncomfortable with me saying cracker because I literally say it freely. It's one of my favorite words. And if they was to look at me with like this ill manner, like how dare him say cracker, I would look at them as a racist because ain't no white person can convince me that they don't say nigga when there ain't no black people around. So for even for the one, whether you the one, not you, but whether it be the white folks that say nigga when black people are around, or whether it be the white person who rapping a song when nobody else around, or when only white people around, they saying nigga, 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 nigga. You can't convince me you don't say it, because I know I say that's cracker's one of my favorite fucking words. Describe it like, man, that cracker raw as fuck. Like if it's a cracker doing good in football or some shit, man, that cracker balling. Oh, that cracker sorry as fuck. You feel me? Like it's part of my vocabulary at this point. My English vocabulary is never going away. But I say it from a legit place. I don't say it like to just like I hate white people or nothing like that. You feel me? I just say the word cracker, So I no problem ultimately. That's a long version of me basically telling you, you saying nigga don't offend me, you feel me? My only thing I will be offended by this, I will say this much too though. I am offended by two things, black and white. I'm gonna tell you the white part, then I'm gonna tell you the black part that I'm offended by. I'm offended by white people that say nigga. I guess in a way I shouldn't be because crackers ain't used to calling each other cracker. Like it ain't no term where crackers say, "What's up, cracker?" from a place of love. You feel me? Like we say nigga as a term of endearment as black people. So it's like, man, that's my nigga. We don't say it to say, man, fuck you, fucking nigger. Like it's that'll be so backwards. We'll call a person a fuck nigga, pussy nigga. We'll put like the word to describe them in front of that, the adjective, but the nigger isn't the adjective. With white folks, the history of nigger was always the adjective to say, I guess that supposed to have been the insult. The point that I'm making is there's a lot of black rappers, right? And this is why I say I can't really blame white folks for just using nigga more than the word cracker. See the matter of fact, hey, you mind if I ask you? Yeah, I say it as a term of endearment. Most of other political leaders and shit, plus the Ulster province, aka Northern Ireland, is ruled by Britain. Yeah, I seen that. They got Northern Ireland and South Ireland. I seen that before. It's like a big divide and shit where they don't really get along like that. And that's crazy that Britain colonized. Ain't that some shit? By Britain, that means white people colonize white people. Ain't that shit is like unimaginable. Like we usually think of like as in history as white folks going and colonizing the native people of that land, which usually was some form of black. But never think of white people colonizing other white people. That is crazy. I'm surprised like it never was no uprising and that they didn't take Ireland back as a full country. You know what I'm saying? Galvanize the whole country. Yeah, that was because 1916 Easter Rising. I gotta take a screenshot of this too. You giving me shit to do with my day. I like research and shit. And so, Yeah, but all in all, to finish up my point real quick, I was gonna simply say that so this let me ask you a question. May I ask you I'm gonna ask you a tough question. There was multiple risings and rebellions. Oh, most definitely. I'm gonna be looking that up. I got a question. What's your opinion on Israeli Jewish people? I don't like to use the word Jewish because Jews are all around the country. I mean, all around the world. So when I say Jewish, that makes you think that there's only one kind of Jew. No, it's the original Jews aren't even none of those people that's in Israel. But my point that I want to ask you is, what's your opinion on is all right, first of all, let me ask you, are there Israeli Jewish people? Are there Jewish people, period, that practice the faith in Ireland? Do you see like people with little small little hats and shit, yarmulkes or whatever? And then my second question would be, what's your opinion on Jewish people? That's my question. What's your opinion on Israel? Being growing up in Ireland, living in Ireland, being from Ireland, what is your opinion looking on like what's your aspect of Israel, the country of Israel, and what's your opinion of Jewish people? Because I got a point I want to make, but I just gotta ask. Like I gotta see where your head is at with that. Anyway, while you type that up, yeah. Ultimately, yeah, that would be nice seeing those different variations. I'm gonna be checking that out though. Why Northern and Southern Ireland split, the rebellions, why did Britain feel the need to run like I mean I kinda let me see, there are all types of people of all origins in Ireland. And I don't mind them, but what are they doing in Gaza is a disgrace. Okay. All right. So it's I thank you for answering that. All right. So my thing is this, right? What they're doing in Gaza is, like you said, a disgrace, but it's a more direct look at what's going on, what they've been doing behind the scenes. So, for instance, the Jewish Israelis were the hidden hand. I call it the hidden hand. It's the hand that was running government in America for years, and it's the hand behind the entertainment sector in America that made the 1950s all the little. You got to think blacks and whites was doing excellent. Now, apart from segregation, you know what? I'm not even gonna say apart from segregation because the argument can be made. Black people did well under segregation because we had our own shit. Like I'm gonna just make a. I gotta talk about American points real quick. So during segregation, black folks had these nice ass houses, hospitals and shit. It made people who are of affluence have to live in the black community. You couldn't just run off and go live with the white people like they love to do these days. You had to stay in your neighborhood and make all that goddamn money and keep it in your neighborhood. You had to shop black. It forced you to shop black. You couldn't just go buy up the white man shit. There is no secret in America. You can look up. This is a fact that black people make up X amount of the population, but spend the most by far. We stimulate the economy. That's why the economy doing bad right now, because black unemployment is up. So Negroes ain't got no money to spend. So I say that to say, when all that money was forced to be in the damn ghetto, then it wasn't the ghetto. It was big ass houses, big ass cars, successful entrepreneurs. Now, with the Jewish people behind the scenes, the hidden hand, they was going and protesting. Like this is why the Klan didn't like the Jews, because they was like they start shit. And they was telling black folks, hey, we need you guys. That they was pushing, they was financing this. APAC been around. It might have not been called APAC, but they was sponsoring the people who was trying to get integration, right? When we was doing fucking good, we didn't know we was doing good. We was doing excellent. We integrated. Now we ain't got shit. We got to fucking share. I say that collectively. I got something in this world, but for the most part, we don't got nothing but some fucking projects from integration. So my point is this though. So the Jews was behind the scene, And you think about white folks, I'm thinking about like shit like I don't know if you get to see the Andy Griffith show, but a town like Mayberry, it was actual Mayberries where you could walk up the street. White people can't even leave their door open in an all white neighborhood, not in 2025. So it was everything was about home and family and religion. That was on both sides, black and white. It was on both sides. It was now obviously white people had harvested, especially the evangelical Christians harvested some contradictory shit where they wanted to be racist and religious at the same time. But for the most part, white folks was doing their thing, black folks was doing their thing, and family values is what counted. The man worked, the woman made the house, and fucking everybody was happy. But here comes the fucking Jews hitting hand in Hollywood. The movie started getting more provocative. They said, "Hey, let's give women's rights." Now, women's had rights, but what they was ultimately saying is, let's make the element of family structure unlike what we have here in Israel, where the man is respected and the man is cherished as the household leader. So they made this divide, this great divide between the household, the man and the woman, and it came through movies. As the movie started out, you gotta think about Norm or whatever. I don't know if that was Norman Lear. One of the first, they say the first TV show ever, or was I Love Lucy. They said it's like the first television show ever. You think about that dynamic. It went from I Love Lucy to fucking. I'm just make an example. Perfect Strangers, which I thought was funny as fuck coming up as a kid. But there was a show in the '90s called Perfect Strangers, which is basically, or even Two and a Half Men. That's a better example. Two and a Half Men, where one of them it was shocking to find out he actually ain't gay. He got a wife and shit, but he gave this gay persona, and Charlie Sheen admitted later in life to being gay experiences and shit. So we went from I Love Lucy to Two and a Half Men on the white side. On the black side, we went from Good Times to Girlfriends. It was just all this self-destructive shit of the man element is, or even white women went to Sex in the City. It was these Jewish people putting on dynamics that wasn't healthy for the family. And so in time, especially with the music, it got more provocative. You couldn't even sell a record if you didn't outdo the next person on the outrageous factor or whatever. And so they killed our family dynamics slowly in the structure of our country. And so I say that to say, because I was talking about, let me read these comments. I probably can remember where I was going with this. There are all types of people. You said there was multiple risings and rebellions. Okay, yeah. If you decide to listen to some trad Irish music, listen to the wolf tones. Let me take a picture of that. Listen to the wolf tones, Song Black, Tanzit. Shows you it was like in Ireland during the rising. Also watch Michael Collins. It's a film about rising. It's so funny. I was just watching God Bless the Dead. It's a guy named Alex Collins, right? He used to play football in the NFL, but he's from my county. He went to South Plantation High School, and he played for the Baltimore Ravens. There's some good Irish shows like Miss Brown, Boy's Father, Ted, etc. Oh, most definitely. I'm gonna get into that. You talking about like Ted? Like when I think of Ted, I think of the movie with what's that guy named Mark Wahlberg and a little teddy bear shit. That was funny as fuck. But there was this guy Alex Collins. He do the Irish dancing, and I got this dance. I'm gonna show you someday. When I show YouTube my dancing, I got this own natural dance that I do. Nobody got a dance like this, and it's so similar. It's so funny because I just started doing it one day, and I was like, what the hell? And people were so impressed by it. And then I looked at one day and I seen Irish dancing. And I was like, damn, my shit's similar. It's similar, like a cross between, it's like three dances put together. It's like folk dancing, Irish dancing, and crip walking. It's like three different kind of, like, just assimilated to something. And it's just cool as hell. But I always like the Irish dances. No, like it's about a priest in Ireland. Oh, a priest in Ireland. Okay, I'll check. I'm gonna check that out most definitely. See, I forgot. Now that reigns key in Ireland, Roman Catholicism. I don't know, like if you be studying the history of the world and whatnot, like how like religion shapes countries and shapes policies and stuff like that. And but yeah, that's if you look at that, that's always interesting because it's just interesting. Let's put it like that. I don't want to say nothing that. One thing about me, I'm trying to learn what the few friends I've had in life. What they always told me my biggest asset as a friend was my brutal honesty. I don't know how to just like it could be something that I say in a Michael Flanty is the Lord of the Irish dance in Ireland. I'm gonna look that up, Michael Flanty. Another time too, learning about Ireland is when I took musical appreciation in college and you listen to the bagpipes or whatever, the flutes and shit that they use a lot in Irish music and stuff like that. And so I always thought that was dope as hell, like because the first form of classical music you couldn't even. It was the I don't know what word I want to use, but it was frowned upon to use vocals. That's why even like, and especially in the Catholic Church, a lot of the things are hymns, and they don't really have words. It's like, oh, that's the first form of music where you had to harmonize. You couldn't actually talk, and most of the time they didn't even want your voice. They just wanted the instrument. But if you were to use your voice, you had to use it as an instrument. So I learned a lot about that, like in music appreciation, when I used to see Ireland and different places in Italy, and these different houses of opera houses and whatnot. And so that was cool. Yeah, most def. Like I'm getting back to the theater because I consider myself a thespian. I'm always into literature and into different playwrights and shit like that and movies and stuff. So, you know, definitely that'll be something interesting to check out. With that said, I'm gonna be on this thing for like 2.5 more minutes. I'm gonna do it to a full hour. Then I'm gonna start researching some of this stuff and cook me something to eat and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, definitely, this was definitely cool. You don't put me on a lot of game and whatnot, and I feel good about that. Like I'm learning and stuff like that. So yeah, but the point I was gonna make though to finish up the Jewish point, so I can hammer that home real quick. They have played such a instrumental part of the deteriorating factors around the world. It's not the Gaza script is just a culmination of everything coming to a full head and them saying, you know what, we're unveiling the curtain. We're just gonna go for this clean sweep of expansion, illegal expansion, and then let the world judge us after we finish doing what we're doing because we so embedded into the world's culture. Like it'll take years to unlearn what they taught us in their schools. Like I was growing up, I know you heard the story of Anne Frank. And we have to ask, why the hell did we learn about Anne Frank rather than learn about our own country, whether it be you in Ireland or whether it be me here? And now when the veil started to come off, we realized who was writing our academic books, who was influencing us through the TV and the media and the news and the movies, who owned all the damn news stations. So the information, the people that disseminated the information in favor for them, why they just they rule the world. So, I say that to say, um, if the influence isn't heavy there in Ireland, I would have to be there to be able to determine that because it's hard to determine if you're under Jewish influence. I would imagine so. And the only reason I said I would imagine so because when I go back and look at this 1916 rebellion that you were telling me about with Northern Ireland, I'm gonna look at the British influence because um, the hidden hand works under two umbrellas, Britain and America, more so America, but because Britain been established for so long, and Britain is who helped establish Israel. So I imagine they got a hand inside of Britain already, because what would compel Parliament to just establish an independent country rather than Britain keep it for themselves? Britain never been shy about keeping something for themselves. South Africa, it's Australia, all this shit. So that's something that's gonna be interesting to discover. With that said, appreciate you giving me your time and rocking with me. And I'm gonna catch you on this later when I got something to speak on. Right now, I got a lot of research to do. You know, I gave me a lot of stuff. Let me take a screenshot. You should look up YB Yeats. He was an Irish poet. Most definitely. I'm looking up everybody today. Everybody